Hi, this is Kiyomi Emmy with IndieExpress.com, and I'm here with, of all the things, the director, the subject matter, but not gray matter, right? You don't. And Taylor Williams, who's the.
70s.
I've already lost control of the interview. And with Taylor Williams, who's the producer of this documentary. And Jody, tell us about you discovering that this is your father here, discovering that he was a sort of star in the Philippines.
Well, he had mostly been known as a songwriter and producer throughout his career for other artists. He made this one album in the early 70s called Bags and Things, and didn't do much in business anywhere in the world, except we come to find out it's become like a classic album in the Philippines, particularly one song called Of All the Things, which is like the unofficial Valentine's Day anthem of the whole country. And, he'd been contacted by this sort of tenacious promoter trying to get him to tour, and finally, 35 years after that album was made, he got on a plane and we followed him to the Philippines.
That is so cool. So you had this rumor, right, that you were this rock star in the Philippines. And so what made you decide to do this tour 30 years later? Here, why don't you play?
Right. Well, I had been saying no for many years, as you said, 30 years, and I finally, with the encouragement of Jody and my wife and my daughter, they said, what do you possibly have going on in your life now that would stop you from doing this? It was one thing when you were busy making a lot of records with important artists and you couldn't put them aside or put them on hold. But now, you've got nothing much going on. What, a condo in Boca? You can't sell that a little later? So I said, you're right, and I finally agreed to do it. And I knew that it was going to be at the very least, an interesting experience taking on this kind of big challenge to sing all these songs, learn to play them, get my show together, and there I was. Once I said yes, we put the wheels in motion, and it happened.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. So when you got off the plane, and what was that whole experience like? Actually, for all of it, because all of you traveled together, right? When you guys went for the tour. So what was that like for you?
Right. It was kind of crazy. We get off the plane. It's like 6 a.m. and there are a number of television crews. There are fans. There's police. There are barricades, and everybody wants to talk to me and ask me questions because they all knew I'd never been there, and this was a big moment. And so I thought, wow. And it's so funny because when we spoke about the reality of the movie, when Jody and Taylor put the plans in place to actually mount a real crew, I said, let's hope that it's not a lot of hype and that I don't wind up in some little bar with 8 people and 3 of them are drunk. And this was the first sign that the promoter was not overhyping us, It turned out to be magic every step of the way.
That's great. So, Taylor, you've known this young man here for a while and childhood friends with your friend Jody over here. So, did you know that he was sort of this Tom Jones-esque kind of celebrity in the Philippines?
I believed him when he told me. But no, I had no idea. I didn't know about the album that he had made that's so big over there. All I really knew was the hits, and when I was a kid, going over to their house and seeing people come in and out, and music being played all the time, and that was all I knew. I had no idea that this was going on in the Philippines, but when I found out, it was pretty exciting. Because at first I just wanted to go and watch. I just wanted to go and see what it was all going to be about, and then we decided to make a movie about it. I'm glad we did.
That's great. That's really great. So how was it following your dad around and doing this, Mr. Director? And did he cooperate with you?
We definitely, had his quote and his rider that we had to. No, he was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was really great to see him in that environment, being kind of worshipped by people, and it was surreal. It was like it was like an out-of-body experience for him, but also, he would be like 3 steps ahead dealing with something, and Taylor and I would be 3 steps behind, like cracking up at what was going on when he had like a SWAT team escort into a venue, or, DJs telling him, that they're his idol, and I'm like, how is my dad your idol, so it was great. I mean, the whole trip was like this whirlwind, kind of fairy tale, and I think that's kind of what the movie feels like in some ways, like this crazy dream that all of a sudden you're in, like, it's like the Wizard of Oz. You're like, all of a sudden you're in another world where all the rules are different, and that kind of feels like what the movie feels
Good
like.
way to describe it. Yeah, because that's what it was like. It was like being awakened, and suddenly you're on another planet.
Yeah.
And, this isn't happening to me, is it really? And but it was so much fun, and we were so well looked after by the promoter and his crew that we felt taken care of, and really they were so well prepared for us and for all the shows.
But it was also that the curtain was pulled back and the wizard was finally put on stage. I mean, it was always the Four Tops on stage, or Glenn Campbell, or all these other incredible people that he was writing and producing with, or for. And now finally, there's here's the guy that the guy behind the guy. Put the wizard out there and see.
There clearly were a few people who went, "That's him."
There were a few confused faces in the crowd.
Well, you sort of have this sort of archival family historical piece now on your dad, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We when we got back and we started putting the movie together, we went to this like abandoned storage unit deep in Van Nuys, and we walk in and there's boxes and all this stuff, and we started looking around, and the stuff that he had just packed away, and photographs and articles and discs of mastered copies of old songs. I mean, it was like walking into an archive of pop music for the last 40 years, and it was all there, kind of left for dead, And, so
and a little of all that stuff was actually good.
yeah. So it was great. I mean, it was really cool to kind of amass all of that material and say this is a story that is, should be told.
Absolutely. And how long were you in the Philippines?
Just a little less than 2 weeks. We got over. We had to do a lot of press. Then we did some rehearsals. Then we did the tour, and then we had like a day, and then it was done. Yeah.
So it's like a whirlwind. This whirlwind.
Yeah, sure.
5 dates flying around the country. Literally never any time to get ready. We would get somewhere, do a sound check, go to the hotel, do some press, eat something quickly, go to the venue. I mean, I now
TV
know.
out the window. I mean,
Right.
that's right.
Hang a baby out the window.
Yeah.
When I saw how it was going, I was actually hanging Jody out the window.
Well, he is your baby.
That's right.
And he's physically could be hung over a window. He's a little guy, so it worked out.
So, are you going to is the film going to be shown in the Philippines at any point?
Yeah, actually, there's a festival there called Cine Manila that we were going to go to this year, and they were nice enough to postpone it because we were trying to organize another tour with the concert promoter so that we could show the movie and have Dennis do another tour, but it didn't come together in time, so they're hopefully in 2009 we'll have the big premiere there.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's lovely to talk to all of you, and congratulations on being a rock star. I want to know, did women throw panties at you though? You're like, because you're the Tom Jones.
Getting with prescription medications.
Well, thank you all so much for speaking with me this afternoon, and it's been great. It's been really fun. Well, you have to go see their film because they're a riot. This is Kiyomi Emmy with IndieExpress.com.